Mom thinks she's having twins, then something impossible happens. Surrogacy is not a new phenomenon. For thousands of years, women have nominated others to give birth on their behalf. However, technological advances such as IVF, softening of cultural attitudes, and a trend for having children later in life have fueled a recent boom in surrogacy. Commercial surrogacy is increasingly popular in the US, though it's only legal in some states. The most recent available reports from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show the number of infants born to gestational surrogates almost doubled between 2004 and 2008, from 738 babies born to nearly 1,400. But these figures are believed to be the tip of the iceberg because not everyone reports this type of birth. However, as one woman, Jessica Allen, found out, the process can be messy and complicated. But before we get right into how a surrogate twin pregnancy turned into a custody battle, we welcome you to Unusual Facts. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and smash that like button. Jessica Allen and her husband Wardell Jasper from Paris, California, already had 2 young sons when they started looking into surrogacy in 2015. It was basically a way to give back, says Allen, and it would just be a great way to bless someone with a child, and in return, get my family blessed financially. After researching local surrogacy agencies, the couple approached Omega, who matched Jessica with a childless couple in China, where commercial surrogacy is banned. In April 2016, in vitro fertilization, or IVF, was successfully used to implant a male frozen embryo from the intended parents into Jessica, and she became pregnant. But barely a month later, when she went to her physician for a routine ultrasound exam, it was discovered that she was carrying twins. Jessica was told that the one embryo that had been transferred had split, and therefore the twins were identical males. The intended parents were notified that the ultrasound showed twins were expected. Jessica, who was being paid $30,000 to be a surrogate, was to be paid an additional $5,000 for carrying a second child for the Chinese couple. Fast forward to December 12, 2016, when the baby boys were born by C-section at 38 weeks. The delivery was done behind an opaque screen, and the babies were whisked away from the delivery room before Jessica had a chance to see them. The following day, Jessica asked if she could see the babies as had been agreed prior to the births, but Tracy Armato, a surrogate liaison coordinator with Omega, told her she could not see or hold the babies, despite, Allen says, a contractual agreement that she'd be able to spend an hour with the 2 children she had brought into the world. Jessica was devastated and was only permitted to see a cell phone photograph of the 2 children taken by the intended mother, which she was hesitant to show Jessica. Jessica saw that the 2 children looked nothing alike in the photograph and commented that the boys looked so different. One, his skin tone was much fairer than the other. One looked full Chinese, the other didn't look full Chinese, she tells New York Post. It was very clear that they were not identical, but I didn't ask questions. But Armato ignored Jessica's observation and fobbed her off with assurances that when she was a surrogate, she had given birth to twins and they looked very different at birth, but later they started to look alike. When the babies were scheduled to be taken away from the hospital, Jessica again asked to see them. Again, she was denied. Weeks passed before Allen got a text message from the intended mother with photos of the infants, asking if I see that they look different. She told me she was having doubts that one belongs to her. One of the boys was Chinese and the other was biracial. The intended Chinese father had DNA tests done on both boys and confirmed that one was not theirs. And soon afterward, he delivered the baby back to Omega and said they wanted nothing to do with the biracial baby. When Jessica and Wardell learned the truth, they were in a state of disbelief, shock, and horror, says the lawsuit. They had not been able to see their baby. They had not been able to hold their baby. They had not been able to bring their baby home, feed him, care for him, bond with, or love him. Later, a DNA test determined that one of the boys was biologically the son of Allen and her husband Wardell Jasper. She was surprised to learn that she had gotten pregnant with her child while carrying as a surrogate. The rare medical phenomenon is known as superfetation, in which a woman continues to ovulate after becoming pregnant. But despite the confirmation the baby was theirs, they still couldn't take him home, the lawsuit alleges. Instead, it claims Armato demanded that Omega be paid around $9,200 for out-of-pocket expenses they had spent for the baby's care. They were devastated, horrified, and distraught at being told they would have to pay $9,200 plus the additional amounts demanded to get their child from Omega. A few days later, the couple was hit with an even bigger demand from Omega's owner, who told Jessica and Wardell that Omega wanted them to enter into a written agreement to pay approximately $18,000 to $22,000 to the Chinese couple as compensation for their return of their child. Eventually, after getting a lawyer of their own and spending $3,000 on legal fees, the relieved parents finally got their baby back, with Omega staff handing him over in a Starbucks parking lot on February 5th. They named him Malachi. They have suffered immense and irreparable loss as to what can never be regained, i.e., being able to bond with their baby during the first 2 months of his life. Holding him, watching him sleep, putting him to bed, feeding him, playing with him, getting to know him. All of this was stolen from Jessica and Wardell. All of this they can never get back. That's all for surrogate mom who became pregnant with her biological son and was forced to pay thousands to get him back. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon to stay up to date with such interesting future videos.